Hello, I'm SupaWaluigi and welcome back to SupaConstruction here in the Nintendo World Park. We're getting straight into it again today, pretty much taken straight off after the last part. We're going straight back to the Mario Golf Open Tour and scenerying it up. Scenerying it, that's a weird word. But yes, we're just getting in some of the textures around the areas of the golf course. Going to be mainly using that checkered mown grass texture there for the main part of it, just to make it look, well, kind of like a proper golf course would, with its own greens and such. We also textured up the areas around the areas of water, and we painted the little mountain last time, but yeah, I think the end result looks pretty good. I mean, we'll get to that later, but yeah, it definitely looks like a proper golf course. And here, just it was kind of an experiment, really, trying to make a little sand trap. Obviously, it doesn't function because I mean people are stuck on a mini golf course, but it was quite hard to do actually. Just only wanted a small little dip, and it doesn't really look much like a sand trap. It needs some sort of very thin texture to go around the edge of it, just to make it, you know, picked out as a hole. Well, not a hole on a golf course, but like just a sand bunker. But it looks all right. It makes a different looking area to the areas of water. And now we're just getting in some of the bushes and topiaries and other such foliage. Mainly use the low hedge walls that we've seen before on the main path to cover up the direct lines between textures, because the sort of mown grass texture doesn't blend in with the rest of the textures. So as you can see there, it just covers up that that little border nicely, and getting it along the side there as well. And you can already see how it's turning out to be a little, like a proper looking little golf course. Getting in some different colours with the red bushes there, and some yellowy looking bushes as well. And then getting a couple of these sort of weeping fig trees. Obviously we're not going to have any tall trees on the course itself, or in the middle of it at least, mainly around the edges. Getting in these, this was quite a lucky scenery option, getting in these flags. Makes it look like there are other holes around the actual mini golf course itself. So it just, yeah, it makes a nice little look for it. Oh, and this is the first time we are seeing some of the particle or effects kind of dispensers. Decided to make the little mountain area kind of misty. The idea is that kind of on the inside it would be, I don't know, full of lava or something. That's why the lights on the inside are orange. And some of that steam and smoke is just coming out from it, so it makes it look kind of ominous, yet just kind of different to the rest of the golf course. We'll be seeing more of those particle effect machine things later on, because there are some fire geyser things that will be very useful in the Bowser's Castle area. So looking forward to using those, and obviously the mist ones that we just used there will also be very useful for the Luigi's Mansion area to give it that super spooky feel, and it should be good. And so we're just getting in another little mown grass area down the side there. You can see how the hedges do create that nice, or cover up the borders to those ground textures. Another little flag there and some more bushes. Gives it another nice looking kind of golf hole. And then we're just going to get in some trees around the back, just to kind of border it off from the second entrance that's basically up there by the warp pipe. Also getting in a covering for the queue line path and the station. I'm not sure how it looks in the end result myself. It's kind of a bit, I didn't want to do a proper full building around it. It kind of worked better when it was just kind of these canvasy roof pieces, but to try and make them look like they are actually held up by something is a little bit more difficult, because the path and the actual track itself all intersect in strange ways. So we use these porch pillar things, which are quite useful to use. It looks better on this side. It gets a little bit more difficult later on, because it does provide some problems. And I thought the yellow and green was a kind of just a good colour, so, since we've got the green, pink and red representing Mario, Luigi and Peach on the queue line path, and then green and yellow could be, I don't know, Yoshi and Wario or something. And then, yes, we're just covering up the top part of the queue line there as well. Works on this side, since we can build all the way down, but on the other side it doesn't work so much, and that's the annoying part, because I was seriously thinking of leaving it like that, but then I realised it was kind of suspended in a weird way on the other side. So we tried to fix that with these brick walls, but then again I didn't think that looked any good either, since there's that gap that I couldn't put anything in underneath them. So then we went with these little fence posts instead. They look alright. I'm not entirely sure about it. Might change that later on, because it still doesn't look correct. And now we're just filling up with some trees along the side, mixing it up with a couple of different ones there, and we're going to stretch the path down and around the golf course. Was messing about with some food and drinks items, since we don't actually have any down here. Decided to place that little crocodile juice stand there and named it Yoshi Juice. I mean, we've already seen that shop before over in the Clocktown area called Lizalfo's Squash or something, but it just sort of fit the theme quite well. Also getting in some park lamps around the golf course, so that's nice and bright at night time. You can see how that looks there. That looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. And then just replacing some of the foliage that I deleted earlier, trying to get the juice stand in. Putting a few more bins there, and now we're just going to extend the path around the golf course as well. Had a quick save there. Was then thinking about the Mario Kart track again, so I decided that I might as well reserve a space for it, because I don't think we'll be coming back to it for a while, actually. Not until probably the Bowser's Castle and Luigi's Mansion area are finished, because it will make it easier to determine how that track will go through those areas as well once those big areas are finished, so that we don't delete anything in the way or any problems occur. Decided to get another ride at the secret entrance of the warp pipe zone. I think it's less of a secret entrance now, actually, more of a main entrance, since this area becomes quite populated, actually. So we're getting in a teacups ride, getting in some very vibrant pink colours there as well. I think you can guess what this is going to be. It went nighttime again, I couldn't see anything, so got in some more path lamps there. And now for the structure around this ride. So basically, I was thinking in the previous Nintendo Land park, I built some very large castles, one for Hyrule and for the Mushroom Kingdom with Peach's Castle. And I kind of felt like we don't have anything on such a grand scale in this park just yet, although I think Clocktown does come quite close. But eventually decided, well, for this little Peach Teacups ride, I think we can go with a mini Peach's Castle. So that's what we are building right now. We're just building a little mini castle around the structure of the ride. Although actually it turns out more like a courtyard for the ride itself, and the structure is just around the pathways. So we're getting in this red band around the edge of the building. At this moment it looks more like a lighthouse, but it does look better on once we get the roof on as well. It does look much like the castle, if I do say so myself. I think this is probably one of the better structures I've built. We're getting in the second white band of windows and walls. Looking pretty good there. You'll see later on the annoying thing with ground textures again, which is quite difficult. The teacups actually broke down there for a while, so I had to get a mechanic in quickly and he got to work fixing that. Just finishing off the upper wall there. There you can see the kind of experiments with the building the walls actually around the ride itself, but decided I didn't really like that. Went with a kind of more of a garden-y theme, because that would be kind of what Princess Peach would have around her castle. And that is the upper wall finished, I think. We will be getting rid of that back wall as well, because that didn't look too good. Just getting in the roof now, on those turrets over there and on the main building. Looking nice and symmetrical, and with those two turrets as well. Oh, sorry, that was a bit weird. Was planning on just leaving those turrets with a normal roof, but then decided to kind of go with a little extra bit on top, just to give it that extra kind of towery feel, make it look like a proper castle. And there you go. It looks like two little watchtowers on the edge there. Getting rid of that wall there as well, because I didn't like it. And then this proved a little bit more difficult, because I wasn't sure how the roof was going to go with this, because again, those two single tiles were quite problematic. But instead decided to go with a sort of balcony, which worked quite well. Again, a little wall around it, just well, if anyone were to go up there, just so that they didn't fall off. And so we get like a third floor for the main part of the building. Getting a little door to the balcony. Obviously, none of this is functional. It's just for show. And getting in some different double windows around the top there. And then going to finish off with the roof on that. Oh, or we're going to put in the a little floor there. I think actually that makes sense now that I think about it, since if we go inside and then looked up, the doors and the windows will be floating from nothing, so that'd be a bit weird. And so that's the main structure finished. We're just fencing off these little areas and putting in some very pink flowers. Also getting in a handyman, because the area was getting quite messy. There was quite a lot of, well, upchuck on the inside of the exit to the ride there. So that was pretty necessary. Changing the path to a more ornate path, since it's on the inside, and getting in a nice first aid stall there, just because the teacups do make peeps very ill. And so you can see what I'm doing with the textures there on the ground with the brickwork. Had to kind of delete it in some places, because it's created this very horrible effect where if you use the texture, there you can see it there, on the very edge of the border of the park, then it extends out and tries to blend in where you can't build. So I decided to change that. There's like a strange area of green on the inside of the castle itself, which I'm not too sure about. I think I cover it up pretty well, but we're just bordering off some more mown grass or mowed grass areas and putting in those flowers there. And so you can see what I mean. It looks a bit weird. Decide to cover it up with some pink and orange roses. Kind of gives it a little greenhouse feel. It doesn't really make much sense, but I think it covers it up rather well. We're slowing down the video, getting a good overview of what has just been built. And that is how the Mushroom Kingdom looks so far. Thank you for watching. Bye!